If you're a user of Trello and ever wish that, oh man, I wish this card could just automatically move over here, or I wish I could just archive that list at the end of the week, or there's probably lots of other use cases of automations that you may want. I wish, when I added a card to this list, it automatically copied it to another board. Well, you are in luck. Butler is here to help and do some of those little repetitive tasks that you wouldn't want to otherwise do. So I'd heard about Butler for a while, and I noticed it up there in the power-up settings. So if you go to Show More and you go to your power-ups, you can see the Butler app is now integrated in there. So I enabled it, and then I noticed when I enabled it, there was this little button right up here, and I tried playing with it, and I wasn't really getting it. So I kept on not doing it, but today I was finally like, all right, Butler, you and me, we're gonna do some automations today. So I did some searching and I found Butler had this great documentation board, which seems a little overwhelming right now. I've barely scratched the surface of it. Most of the board is good examples that you might want to use, which I'm really excited to dive through. But I found in the board, okay, how to use Butler. Oh, I didn't realize you had to invite Butler to all the boards you needed to set up automations with. That's why none of my automations were working. So you go to the Butler dashboard. So you go to butlerfortrello.com/dashboard right there, and you invite Butler to the various boards that you want to have automations go on. So let's just randomly here, you kind of read the instructions if you want to, and then yes, now Butler is a part of that board. And you'll see right here in my side thing, non-team members, Butler is one of them. It wasn't there before you invited it to the board. You used to actually do it old school and just invite Butler bot, but they're a little too popular to do that now. It'll just sit there like worrying and saying it's not finding the connection. All right, so the next thing I was doing is I was trying to set up the automations with that little tool, and then I have some friends who set up automations, so I was trying to copy their automations right over here, and I wasn't getting it to work correctly. That green little check mark wasn't happening, or it wasn't doing exactly what I expected. So I went back to that little documentation and found something on the command center. So if you go to the command center, this is where Butler makes things a lot easier on you. So you can schedule it so every day at a certain time or when a certain action happens. So the first one I wanted to set up was every Friday at a particular time. I really didn't care what, maybe say, 11 p.m. Maybe AM would be a little bit better. I wanted all of the cards that I'd created in my done pile to be moved to another board where I could review them a little bit more effectively. So I go over and I first make the mistake of I move the whole list over, and then I eventually went to the cards and said, okay, so every Friday I want to move the cards from this list, so my done list, from this particular board that I shared. So the board is, I believe, this board right here, and to the list to review, and it was on another board which was called, I believe it was called DZ Review. So Debbie's the name of my virtual assistant and me, so DZ Review. So I wanted to move them all over there. I also thought it would be cool to archive all the cards in the list. So I'll archive all the cards in that list, done. And then from here, it shows what your command should be. So, and to review, I need to add another action and do that, archive all the lists. So it's essentially you piecemeal together and you get the right instructions, and then from the right instructions you copy those instructions, and from there you just have to paste them, Control V right there, and add it. And if Butler understands the rules, it understands this rules, it will make the automation happen. So it took me a few goes, but I moved my whole list of I think it was 150 items. So my Trello board was slowing down because of all the images and the videos and lists and whatnot that were in the Debbie and Zach Trello board. And now every week on Friday, the cards that were completed will go to review. So the first thing I'm reviewing is, hey, does Debbie like this work? So she can say loved it, hated it, neutral. So there's a number of different ways I'm planning on skinning this review. But I just thought it was a nice way to start to make sure I'm giving Debbie the work that she enjoys. So if you want to get up and started in Butler, all you need to do is make sure to add the power up. And then I would really encourage you to just go to this command center right here and first add the boards that you need the automations to. So not only this board, but the board it's being sent to. So you can see Butler is there too. That was another mistake I made. So those are the common mistakes, is not adding Butler to the board and then having a hard time creating the instruction. So I would use the command builder to do that. And it'll take you a minute or two to make sense of it all. And if it doesn't copy exactly, it's like, well, read it at the end. It's okay. Every Friday at 11 a.m., move the cards from the done list on board Debbie and Zach, Able Business Radio, to the list to review on board DZ Review, and archive all the cards on the done list. If that makes sense to you, then it's probably going to work. I noticed when I was using the command builder, it would remember commands that I no longer wanted to use. And it's like, every Friday, archive the whole list, and then move the done list, and then do this. So it was catching things that I tried and didn't work before. So I just refreshed the page and started from scratch again to make sure my command was accurately. So that's it. I would really encourage you to look into using the Butler bot. You can get 25 commands a week or a month. Let's check out the pricing right here for free, and then you can upgrade for, I believe, $10 a month for 250 little commands. Here's the pricing. Let's look into it. 250 operations. So the $10 a month would probably get you, if you were really doing a lot of automations, but at that point you probably love Butler so much, you should give them some money. So that is Butler. I hope this was helpful. It was a learning experience for me, so maybe it'll save you a bit of time. Thanks. If you are newer to Trello, which if you're setting up Butler, you might not be, but if you're new to Trello and just want a tour of the whole thing and how it works and all the different functions and what I mean by power-ups or lists or cards, boards, I do a whole tour of Trello that you can find over at zacharysexton.com/Trello-tour. So it's completely free. Just go sign up and you can watch the hour-long video of the complete tour of Trello.